continuing to live stream.
Huh.
I
Good.
didn't have to do anything. I'm waiting, streaming, waiting for us to come up on the encoder, and we should appear in just a second. And there we are. Okay, good. All right, fine. It looks like it's yes. Okay, good. Well, welcome back. I'm Bonnie D and Bill B. We're having some streaming issues. It looks like we're back, and it looks like Zoom and Restream recognized, and they said you can come back in. So here we are, 18 seconds in. So, Bill, your last cool dude song you were explaining was give us just a quick overview, and then I'll give you mine.
It is What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Um, and that one just fits everything. To this day, it
I
fits.
think it does. I want to give you a couple of mine. One is I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Okay, whatever life has thrown me. You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore, and I recorded a music video when I was taking singing lessons with a group called the Chaperones. It was Tony Ferrari Chaperones because there was an original group called the Chaperones. I had a TV show called Something to Talk About on Long Island Cable, and a lot of the doo-wop groups came and on my show, and I became friends with the chaperones, and we actually filmed the scene with a tinfoil ring of me throwing the ring in the water. The drummer lived on the water on Long Island on the South Shore. You don't own me. And then we took everybody, the crew, to my TV studio. We dressed it up like a high school gymnasium with streamers and crepe paper and all that. And we're going to talk about your parties in a second. And I had people bring the guys in the band brought their wives, their girlfriends, not their wives and their girlfriends. And I was dancing with Tony, and I was dancing with somebody else, and Tony's giving me the evil eye, and I'm saying, "You don't own me." And we recorded the song in somebody's studio, and I was so weak on the vocals, they had one of their girl singers record over me, overdub me. But I don't have that. I don't have the video anymore. We were mastering to three-quarter inch tape back in those days. So You Don't
Oh,
Own Me,
wow.
it's an independent song, a lot more than Just to a Boy. And I've had the time of my life by Bill Medley from Dirty Dancing, and Stronger, Britney Spears. And I think a lot of people saying that one. What Doesn't Kill Me Make Me Stronger. Roar by Katy Perry. Now I'm floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. I earned my stripes. I went from zero to my own hero. I think I'm entitled to say that. And Queen by Janelle Monáe. I just discovered this song. She who writes the
Yeah,
movie owns the script and the sequel. You like that? I
I
like
love
that too.
that.
So tell us briefly about their parties that you ran. You were an entrepreneur in high school, and you wrote in your notes to me that you made a pretty penny on those. What did you charge people to go to your parties, and how good were they? Solo
They
cup
were
parties? What
they
did you
were
do?
awesome. They were awesome. I mean, you can imagine, I mean, at this time, I mean, hip hop was making its surge and house parties were the thing. So literally I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. My mom was supposed to be going away for the weekend. And so I called my buddy and I said, yo, Phil, we're going to throw a house party. And I said, spread the word. Now, at this time, uh, there was no such thing as SMS. There were no, nothing, none of that. It was word of mouth. And I had the house all set up, had wired up a bunch of separate speakers, so it was just booming. And and right around 9:30, 10 o'clock, droves of people, cars were just pulling up. And I was charging $10 a head. And we had approximately 150 people. And I
What?
literally would only let people in. The only way you could get in was when someone left. And so
Oh my
people were
God.
standing around outside in the front yard, and people were coming in and leaving and coming in and leaving. And oh my goodness, that was the first one. And then after that, we started saying it would be a BP production, a BP production. And word was getting out. And these house parties were just ridiculous. Now, the first one, I have to say, the first one, my mom came home early. And she said,
What did mommy say?
she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Don't worry about it." And I gave her half the money. And she said, "I'll be in my room. And by 1 o'clock, you better get these people out of my house."
Oh, that's a
Um,
riot.
oh yeah. So I kept doing that. for a while. And then, of course, more and more people were doing the same things and things like that. And it came time to graduate. And that's not something that you can really put on your resume that, hey, I organized parties and made money. It's,
I love it. Well, that's entrepreneurial. That certainly is. And the fact that you were able to charge, number one, and number two, that so many people wanted to attend, that word of mouth wasn't just, hey, there's a party, but it's a BP production party. That says a lot about your personality, about your ability to organize things, about you being the draw for the people wanted to be with, right? You were
yes.
bringing the in crowd. You were bringing the cool people. That is a cool dude thing. Thank you for telling us that. We won't give out names and addresses. No.
Yeah.
And were you serving? Were you serving, or was it with these underage? Can I ask?
Oh no. So I mean, I mean, everyone was pretty much underage. But yeah, as crazy as it is, yeah, there was definitely alcohol around.
Okay,
Um,
I won't
it
ask
was not,
anymore.
it was not good boy, good girl stuff, but it was just one of those things.
I bet it was
And
fun.
of course, mom didn't know because we had all these little punch jugs that looked like punch, but it wasn't. Um,
Okay.
but it was an experience. I mean, I had to understand it taught all of the aspects of business because I had to know who my demographic was. And
Mm-hmm.
they were high school hip hop heads that wanted to party.
Yep.
I had to know how to market myself. So consequently, BP Productions sounded pretty cool. So let's
I
go
think
with
it's
that.
way cool. Way cool. That's
And
all right.
you
How old were
know,
you? Were you 17, 18 at the time? How old were you?
I started when I was 16 and it ran through me turning 18.
That's quite a business. Better than
Yes.
throwing papers on front lawns or yeah, mowing the
Yes.
grass. A lot more fun. Did you ever raise the price from $10 to something else?
No, I kind of kept it there. My plan was if I continue to keep it low, those that were trying to charge more, people would say, you know what, we get the same thing going to BP Productions. So let's go there.
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. So price point was part of the magic of being able to serve the community, if you will. And
Exactly.
and mom was happy to cash in without having to
Oh,
say anything.
yes. Yes.
Oh, Bill, let's eat better this week.
That's
I
and
love
and
it.
we would. I mean,
I love it.
it was great. It was great.
How many a year did you throw?
Oh my goodness. It would on a good month, we would throw maybe five or six.
What? All year
Yeah,
long?
all year long.
I'm seeing ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Wow, that was
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, congratulations. I've never heard a story, or let's just say I've never met anybody who's done anything that well. We'll leave that one on the table. Let's go to our off the top segment of the show. Your creativity superpower, what you love or
Oh, I lost you for a moment there.
your creativity superpower, what you love about it or what you don't love about it.
Oh, I feel like I have a propensity for seeing things that others don't see. Um, what I love about it is when it pays off well. What I don't love about it is oftentimes it can take more time than I would like. So I mean, from a technology perspective, I mean, we've got to look at it. I was doing the digital twin thing in the modern era from 2012, and not that it was invented, it was already there. I mean, from Houston, we have a problem. It was already there. It was just, I feel like we took an innovative approach to creating what we call operational dashboards. So they're not the 3D model twins, they are actual real time insights that are delivered and can be acted on. Um, and now everyone has a digital twin. So for it to really catch hold and for people to actually grok the benefit of it, it took a while. But yeah, being able to see things that others don't see.
Interesting. And what's the downside of that? Or is that both the upside and the
That's
downside?
both the upside and the downside. The upside is, hey, you can do it and you can talk about it, and people go, oh, that's cool. The downside is it takes a while for it to catch on.
Yeah, it does. Talk about moving and grooving and being a avant of something, being in
Yes,
that, or taking something, as you pointed out, that's been around for a while and running with it, or finding ways to use it and bring it to people who said, "Oh, I don't know what that is. Why would I bother?" And there you are, making something happen with something that's around. A lot of our technologies today that people think are new are not. They've been
they're
around
not.
for forever and ever. Okay, well, not forever, but for a long time. Okay, my creativity superpower, I think, is just I enjoy talking to people, smart people, savvy people, interesting people, people who are not afraid to be real. I use the word real dash deal, the term, instead of authentic, because I like people who are just there, like you. We're just here. We're telling it the way we think it is, the way we see it, the way we feel it, and that's just fine. How does that get me in trouble sometimes? Sometimes people come to me and say, I'd love to start a business with you. This happens about 3 times a year. And I go all in, and usually somebody says, "Oh, we need a website." And I'm quick, "Oh, I'll go on GoDaddy and I'll buy it." You have no idea how many web domains I own that never went anywhere. And then they say, "Oh, you're too fast for me, or you're too high energy for me, or I lost interest." And they leave, and I'm left with websites and websites. It happens. And my kids say to me, "Mom, why do you talk to so many people about doing business?" Because it sounds interesting at the time, but I've been left holding nothing worse than that, but it's happened too many times. So that's the superpower downside for me. Okay, coffee or tea, brewed or instant, quantity, quality, cup, mug, stein, flute. What's your drinking preference for coffee or tea, Bill?
Coffee, black, and got to be fresh beans. No instant, no pre-ground or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
When we had this house built, because my wife likes coffee as well, and she likes teas and matchas and everything like that. So we bought a machine and had it installed in the wall, and that's what makes all of the coffee drinks and all the teas and everything like that.
Lovely, lovely. And how do you drink your coffee? Do you have a favorite mug, a travel mug, or do you drink in fancy cups or
Typically a clear mug, and that's it.
very nice? That looks really, really good. I can't do caffeine anymore. So as much as I used to drink 10 cups of decaf a day, I can't even go near it. So I'll take a peppermint tea bag, I'll put it in a cup of hot water in the microwave, water that's almost at boiling. Put the tea bag in, as the English call it, a dusty old something, which is, not real tea in a bone china that's a certain millimeter thick. And I'll dunk that in and leave it in and microwave for another 30 seconds or so. If it's too hot, I'll put an ice cube in it. I'm not a purist, Bill. And and then the mint, I don't put anything in it, sugar or lemon or sweetener of any kind. I'll drink it fairly hot, and then I'll refresh the cup with the tea bag still in it with filtered water in the fridge and put it in the fridge and leave it there overnight and then have it for the next day or two. Keep
Oh,
refilling it and using up the little bit of the peppermint flavor that's left. And I never squeeze it because that brings out the tannic acid that makes it bitter. So a tea bag will go a couple of days for me, but it gives a nice, slightly flavored, mint flavored water. And that's what I do. No coffee. I wish I could. Next one, holiday shopping for family or others. Are you a brick and mortar, let's go to the mall or let's go to the store type of person? Do you buy online? Do you respect people's wish lists and use them? Or do you hand pick or personally pick presents for people? I think you need this. I'm going to give this for you. The hell with your wish list with 5,000 things on it. Or do you give gift cards? So what's your pleasure for holidays, Bill?
I do all of the above.
Oh my goodness.
I really
You're a
do.
hybrid.
It is so Christmas is a big deal for us. And so we ask all the girls, send us your wish list and we'll pick, a couple of things off of that. Um, I'm 50-50 on the internet versus brick and mortar. I like to get out and see it and touch it and just be amongst the people. And two of my girls are like that. The other one is like, I could care less. I'm gonna stay inside and I'll just click my way through Christmas. Um,
click my way through Christmas.
but but
You need to write a song. I clicked my way through Christmas. I like that. That's very catchy. Okay, you heard it here.
so
Go ahead.
I love it. I mean, the gift cards are for the teens. So I have teenage nieces and nephews, and things that I like, which I'm a sneakerhead, I love fashion and everything like that, are not necessarily the things that they like. Because I look at some of the stuff they're wearing, and I'm like, what the hell is that? But it's easier if I just say, look, here's a gift card to your place. Go and pick what you want. That way you're
Yeah.
happy.
That's what I do with my granddaughters who are both in graduate school. I mostly give gift cards to my family unless they express to me there's something they're all doing very well in life and they really don't need anything. For kicks, I went on Amazon, excuse me, last week and I put in the search box, what do you get for a woman who has everything? I swear. I did. And I thought of my daughter-in-law and things came up that were interesting. I ordered some of them for me, but I put a separate package in and it's been in two pieces delivered to her in Florida. But what's interesting was something came up similar to your mug, Bill. If you hold that up, they make glass mugs like that with a beautiful uh, I think it's painted on the glass, butterflies and flowers, very delicate. It's a little thinner, it's a little narrower than what you have. And then there's a spoon that's decorated with the same decor that goes with it. And they're just beautiful. So they have about 20. I picked one with, I think, pink butterflies and yellow flowers. And I sent her a picture. I said, would you like this? She said, I don't have anything like that. Wow, how about that? So that went in the box. And then another thing was there are called shower steamers. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, I mine are coming today and hers are coming today. It took 10 days to get them on Amazon, but you put the little disc on the bottom of your shower, not under the water, and it releases aromatherapy. Different, the box has six different scents. That's new for me. And there was something else I ordered for her that she said she really, really liked. And so I basically shopped with her by texting her pictures of what I thought she might like. And she was either being very polite or very real and say, yeah, I like that. So I put together a package, and my son is following a magician. I don't remember his first name, but his name is, I think it's Eric Delane. And it's a book about something deceptions, it's called. I should know the name by now. It's an expensive book about magic. And there were only five of them left on Amazon. They
Oh,
were
wow.
selling out, and this was 2 weeks ago. So I ordered one of the last five to go, and that was shipped to his house. So yeah, so that'll be everybody else is just getting gift cards, and I I bought a gift package for myself, new lip gloss and eyeliner and mascara, and a new handheld blender, a very expensive one, KitchenAid, a red handheld blender with 7 speeds and two different kinds of beaters because I like my whipped cream and things like that. But I also ordered a new hot air hair dryer, hair blower. And what's funny, but my hair is so thick that the bristles don't hold it. It just slid right through, so it's backed up. It's ready to go back. I need something a little more monstrous, so I'll take care of that. But I enjoyed shopping for myself, just little things, and it was fun. It was nice. I don't do stores much anymore. Where I'm living, it's about an hour to go to the types of stores that were 3 minutes away when I lived in Durham, North Carolina.
Oh, yes.
And I don't drive an hour just for the heck of it to go on five highways just to go to a TJ's or something
You're
like
in
that.
you're in Tennessee, right?
I'm in Tennessee, near
I was
Knoxville, but
I was
Loudon.
stationed there
Yeah.
in Tennessee, in Millington, Tennessee.
Okay. Where's that near?
I, nowhere. It, it's,
Touche.
it is nowhere. I mean, I was stationed there and it was
Navy,
wow.
right?
Yes.
Wow. Nowhere. Well, we have lakes here and we have a dam, and you have to drive from where I am 9 miles to get to the road that goes past and over the dam, over the Little Tennessee River, and into Lenoir City, which is Lenoir is how they spell it, like the French, the black, Lenoir, the color.
Mhm.
And there's not much there. A lot of gas stations and supermarkets and Home Depot, and those aren't my favorite places to shop. So Amazon is my thing now, and that's just fine. I don't drive an hour for anybody anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just not necessary. But there's nothing really fun, and we don't, and we have a great supermarket here that's exactly 3.5 minutes from my house. And I wish they had a gift department because I would be buying more stuff. Anyway, last question on OTT, and then we go to our wacky headlines. Movies and TV, what genres, preferences do you like? Drama, fantasy, musical, romance, mystery, comedy, sci-fi, thriller, war, and a couple of favorite actors or actresses. Bill, you want to tell?
So action and drama, um, and probably I would say fantasy. Now, my wife is more of the romance, love story, mushy, mushy stuff. But I like action. So I mean like Marvel, DC, uh that those kinds of things. As far as actors and actresses go, um Denzel Washington is one of my faves. I mean, there's literally nothing that he's done that I don't think is awesome. Anthony Hopkins is another one. I mean, his portrayal of Hannibal Lecter was, I mean, it continues to live with me the way he embodied that character. Samuel L. Jackson. And I mean, it for me, Pulp Fiction, his role in Pulp Fiction was just classic. And then I'd say probably Viola Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And
Powerful actress. Very, very powerful actress.
yes, and ironically, Julia Roberts.
Really? How'd she
Yes,
get in your list? What'd she do?
Aaron Brockovich.
Oh my goodness, really? Left an
Yes.
impression, huh?
Yeah, oh, totally. Because I mean, I love it when people take on big problems. And I just think what Aaron Brockovich did and the way that Julia Roberts kind of captured the essence of who she was and the motivation for doing things and not giving up, I was like, yep,
Hmm,
that's a heroic person to me.
interesting. Any favorite TV shows? Anything you binged recently that
Uh,
that you
no,
love?
you know what? I'm an anime fan,
Oh,
so
okay. Well, I just watched the Keira Knightley new series on Netflix called Black Doves. It is
I have
spy
that book marked.
espionage. It's yeah, it's watch it. It's 6 episodes and twisty turny and still surprises up until the last 5 seconds of the show.
Awesome. I will take a look at that.
Really, really good. And I was shamed by some people recently that I had never watched The West Wing. So I watched that and binged it all 7 seasons about a month and a half ago.
Wow.
And one of my new favorite actresses, who is not a new actress, is Allison Janney. I had only watched her comedy show that she did, Mom, about a former alcoholic mother and her daughter. And I watched once. I said, "What's the big deal?" Well, I have such respect for her as an actress after watching her in West Wing, and she shows up in the new Kerry Russell show, The Diplomat, season 2, the
Oh, yeah.
last episode. Allison Janney is playing the Vice President of the United States, and she is very pruny, very straight blonde
Yeah.
hair and wearing a gray suit, and she's like very proper. And it was hard to believe. I took pictures, screenshots of her in West Wing and the Diplomat. Says this is the same actress, but I have great respect. And another favorite actor who is gone is John Spencer, who played Leo in West Wing, and he passed away just as they were filming the last season, season 7, and they wrote his passing into the script of the West
Oh, wow.
Wing. But he died in the show. He had a heart attack, and that's what he died from. But he was only 58, and he was a powerful, powerful actor. So I really enjoyed The West Wing, and it has a lot of, let's just say, relevance to today, and we'll leave that alone. I was taking
Mhm.
screenshots of, I turned on the dialogue, the subtitles, and I was taking screenshots. Yes, 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 I understand that. Yes, that's what's up. Yes, so it was very, very interesting. It pays to rewatch. My favorite TV shows are French language detective shows led by quirky females like Alice Nevers. Um, let's see. Who we got? Candice Renoir, and the actress is named Cecile Bois. Just unbelievable. Tandem, where the woman in the head police person is a woman whose ex-husband works for her. And Stefan Blancafor, I have a mad crush on him, and he's the husband. And they're quirky detective shows, but my favorite ones are led by female characters who are break the mold, Bill. They're not your standard sit at a desk and okay, let's send the squad out and take forensics. These are women who see things. They know how to be a detective. They know how to ask questions and make comments and look literally under the hood. Those fascinate me.
There is one you mentioned that, and there is one called High Intelligence Potential.
I think I started to watch that. Who's in it?
I don't know who it is. I just saw
I
the
think I started it a week or two. I watched so many, I lose track after a while.
um there's the main character is oh, what is her name? Audrey Fleurot.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the woman is her IQ is so high. She does things, she sees things that other people are missing.
Yep.
And then I mean, she's just a wreck. I mean, she's raising kids on her own, and she winds up working. She's a janitor at night, and so she was working inside
Here
of
we
a.
go. Morgan is 38 years old, three children, two exes, an IQ of 160. Her
That's
destiny as a
it.
cleaner is turned upside down when her extraordinary abilities are spotted by the police who offer her a job as a consultant. I have to watch that. I will find
That
that.
is, I love that.
HPI. HPI. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendation. Another one that's not on anymore is Munch. And this is a quirky older woman who runs a law firm who sees things that nobody else sees. We're not talking visions, we're talking being able to take apart a crime scene or
Yes.
figure out a crime. There's one called, I think, Master something or other, a new one I've seen with an older blonde woman as well. And there's one more that I find Irma Tatarani, I think her name is. She's an Italian. Um, they call them investigating judges, but they're really high-level detectives. That's what they call them in France.
Uh-huh.
The investigating judge shows up at all the crime scenes, and Irma is just Emma Tatarani, and she is unbelievable. Wears the most outrageous clothes. She puts Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City, Sarah Jessica Parker to shame with her wardrobe. She just absolutely and her husband is wacky and he wants to start a nightclub and she has a crush on one of the young gendarmerie who work for her and in Italian with subtitles and it's just I can't wait for them to hopefully bring back more. Some of these series are 15 and 17 seasons long, Bill. That's
Wow.
how long the French love these shows. And we just
Wow.
finished Blue Bloods. Did you see the series wrap up of Blue Bloods on Friday night?
Yes.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the last episode? Be honest.
It left me kind of man,
Me too. Me
you
too.
know.
And why did they kill off what's his name? We won't mention. Why did they have to kill him? What was the point?
Yeah.
To have a
And
funeral?
that's why
Why?
I was like, really? That's how you're
Yeah.
gonna go out? That's
Yeah. Yeah. And they brought back Nikki and they brought back Jack to the dinner table and it's like, so what?
yeah.
So what? So she says
I
three
feel
words.
like they know they're getting in and they're just like, let's just give them an ending and
Yeah. Yeah.
no thought into it.
I was expecting a 2 hour special for the finale after 15 years or so, and it was just what it was. So
Yeah. It was like, thanks. See
anyway,
you guys.
and I thought Abigail should have been invited to dinner, and I thought Baez should have been invited to dinner because they were main characters, and Garrett, and they were just left at the office hanging in it left. So I think they were just tired. Maybe Tom Selleck wants to go back to Jesse Stone. I don't know. This show is turning into a TV review here, but so much for that. Do you have some wacky say what stories for me today, Bill? You want to share a visual or just talk about it?
I will just talk about it. So there's in Florida, a man was arrested for throwing an alligator through a drive-through window.
What? That's a say what. Keep going.
So it was a Florida man was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill after allegedly throwing an alligator through a fast food chain's drive-through window in October. We'll leave his name out of it. He threw a 3.5 foot alligator through a Palm Beach County Wendy's drive-through. Said he found it on the side of the road, put it in his truck, and just decided to go do it.
Words escape me. Just decided to go do it. Okay. I, I'm gonna I'm gonna share one so you can see how this I've reduced these to one pages, but I'm gonna read this. I think you'll enjoy it. So let me do a screen share here. Entire screen. Yes. Okay. This one, let me get rid of my emails here and get rid of all kinds of stuff. Yes, too many people are looking at too much stuff here. So this is an interesting story. I get a newsletter by Bill Murphy Jr. Now let me ignore my yes. Bill Murphy Jr. And this one was from December 16th, which is yesterday. Uh, in 19, and he profiles interesting people. In 1977, a 23-year-old would-be writer moved to LA. He didn't like it much. He said years later, I got there on a Friday night in August. It was 102 degrees. My car broke down in the fast lane of the Hollywood freeway while I was listening to a drunken DJ. Blah, blah, blah. Things got worse. Lousy jobs. Bill, he paid the bills by bussing tables, working in a nursing home, running a cash register at a punk record store, and working at a sewage treatment plant. And he kept writing letters to friends back home saying, my life sucks. But he was also an artist and the editor of the Evergreen State College newspaper. It was a hippie college. Every weirdo in the Northwest went there. So he added cartoons. And then he started adding fictional characters to his artwork. And then he had enough material to self publish a black and white comic book. So he wasn't just sitting there in the thick of being unhappy. He sent copies to friends and he got a rack at the back of the record store. He sold the comic books for $1 and he called it Life in Hell. And it became a cult favorite. Do you know who this guy is? By the time he was 24, he had a deal to publish weekly editions in an alternative newspaper called the Los Angeles Reader, and he added a music column, but he made up bands and interviews. They weren't real. He kept saying, I'm sorry, and then he'd do it again. In 1984, he had his first success. A girlfriend who understood printing helped him self-publish a book-length version of Life in Hell. He sold 22,000 copies. Then Hollywood knocked on his door. They wanted to adapt it into 1-minute animated bumpers during TV shows. This person is Matt Groening.
Wow.
This is Matt Groening. He was concerned he might lose ownership of his creation or that it was a flop at a TV as a TV cartoon and drag the comic book down with him. So he was in the waiting room of producer James L. Brooks' office and he came up with a family naming the dad after his dad, Homer, the mother after his mom, Marge, the two daughters after his sisters, Lisa and Maggie. And he didn't name the main character after himself. He called him Bart, which he realized was an anagram for brat. The Simpsons debuted as short vignettes on the Tracy Ullman Show, proving more popular than the Tracy Ullman Show. And I was a fan of Tracy Ullman.
Yeah.
They turned it into a full-length show that premiered in 1989, 35 years ago, actually this week. The Simpsons hold the record for the longest running TV show in history, 776 episodes. If you watched it back to back, it would take 12 hours a day. It would take you a little over a month. That's the story of Matt. Is that fascinating?
That's awesome.
Yep. Bill
That's
Bill
awesome.
Murphy likes to write about things like that, so I enjoy his newsletter. You just find it, Bill Murphy Jr., and sign up. Big optimism, and he's got really cool stuff in there. So what's your next wacky article?
The next one is uh what was it? November. A hamster escapes grounds aircraft for 5 days. Hammy the hamster and 131 mates managed to ground a TAP Airbus 320 for around 5 days due to poor packaging. Uh, a flight from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada Airport in the Azores seemed to go as expected, except that there was a huge breakout of livestock when it landed. And I mean, it took them that long to capture 132 hamsters as well as ferrets and some birds.
Oh, that is funny. You really outdid yourself on these. I'm going to share another one here. This one I think you'll enjoy. It's a season to be tallying. Audubon Christmas bird count is officially on. December 14th, this week, is the start of the longest running community science bird project, the Audubon Christmas bird count. It's the 125th year, Bill. Volunteers of all skills are invited to go outside, look at the birds, and record what they observe. It's one of the most important initiatives for bird conservation across the world, and they're expecting 80,000 people to participate. And you can go to audubon.org and go to about/Audubon near you with the state. And I put it in for Tennessee, but there's nothing near me. And I really enjoy being birding. I have beautiful birds that come. Interestingly enough, a pair of yellow finches, I think, goldfinches, came to one of the bird baths outside my property a year ago on Mother's Day when my son had visited me for the weekend. And as he was leaving, these two yellow finches showed up and just sat there. I thought, oh my goodness. A year later on Mother's Day, he wasn't here. My daughter wasn't here. I was thinking of my mom who passed in 2017. The yellow finches came again and sat on one of the bird baths in my yard.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have beautiful orange birds, cardinals and jays that come and sit on my windowsill. I have a little whatchamacallit, a sparrow that comes on my middle room on the other side of the house and thinks it sees itself and it jumps up and down, hits the window all day long sometimes. Bang, 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 bang. I've videoed it. I've taken pictures. It thinks it, and it's the only bird. I think it's the same one. He might have a cousin or a nephew who comes with him, but no other windows in the house. He just likes to attack that window, and I don't know why.
Wow.
Is that something? I have beautiful birds here, absolutely beautiful. So what's your third? You got a third one for me?
I got one.
All right.
In New Hampshire, there was a cow named Charlie. And Charlie, the cow, found himself in an above ground pool because he decided to take a dip in his family's above ground swimming pool in Northfield, New Hampshire. Ironically, it was really too cold and too deep, and he found himself stuck. But they were able to go in there and get him out. My question is, how does a cow get into an above ground pool?
Impossible. It sounds
It's
like something Matt Groening would have put into The Simpsons in an episode. Bart would have
yeah,
done that. Okay, cow, up you go. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. How far up above ground was it? Like a 6 foot deep or an 8 foot? There's a ladder. How did the cat?
There's a ladder, and there's a picture that showed the police pulling him out of the pool.
Had to be a prank. It was somebody at one of your parties, Bill. They did it. They
You know
they
what? It sounds like something they would do.
it does. And I have my third story is dedicated to you. Let me do a share again here. I think you'll enjoy this. And here we go. Okay. There was a secret bar in the California redwoods, and in order to get to it, you have to take the skunk train, which dates back to 1885. It leaves from the Fort Bragg Depot between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. on some Friday and Saturday nights. The ride is almost a half hour. It winds through an estuary and ends up in a magical area with twinkling lights, live music, fun and games. And they have fire pits. You can buy wine and beer local. You can buy charcuterie. The bar is open till 10:30 and a well-behaved dog can accompany you. It's an extra $11 for the train. Here's a picture of the train ride. I hope you can see this.
Yep.
Originally, the skunk train carried lumber and transported loggers and their families to and from camps along the logging route. And they eventually made it into single unit motor cars powered by gas. And then they were burning crude oil to keep the passengers warm. It stunk. The old timers along the line said the cars were like skunks. You smelled them before you saw them. So they called it the skunk train. It's now a pub, but Glen Blair Bar was used for weddings, parties, concerts, and movie nights. You could have had your gatherings there, Bill. That's why this is for you. And they changed it into an ale house. It took a couple of years. They also have on the skunk train a pumpkin express during autumn for pumpkin picking for kids. And from end of November to the end of this month, they have a Christmas experience to see the world's largest living Christmas tree, et cetera, et cetera. So this was an article by Rebecca Brandis from October, actually, and I saved it, but I thought you'd interesting. And I get a newsletter called nicenews.com/culture, and that's where these articles live. So
That's
interesting.
nice. I mean, I'm a speakeasy fan, so
You
that's
got to go. You got to
right
go.
up my alley.
You got to go take the skunk train and you got to find out when well, I don't know if it's working after the end of this month, but maybe next year in the spring you could go and you're going to come back and report to us, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to look that one
Absolutely.
up.
There you go. I'll send you the link. So, any closing thoughts? We had to divide this into two here. We had a couple of, we've got excellent streaming here. It says excellent. That's wonderful. I'm not even going to piece them together. I'll just say live, and people will figure it out. Any thoughts for the holiday? Anything special you're doing? Christmas, New Year's, Bill?
No, I mean I'm shutting things down the 18th, and I'm trying to just focus on spending time with the family. We do a lot of binge watching shows. My wife and my daughters love K-dramas, so I'll sit there and get into those with them. Play video games. I love doing that, and just spending time with them, and not worrying about work or what 2025 has to bring. Just
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I've started working on my novel again. I've been working on it for 2 years, and I became motivated. I see a therapist every week. He's more like a coach or a counselor. And he said, start putting 20, 30-minute appointments with yourself in your calendar, which I'm pretty good at. So I started going back to it. I wrote it in two sections, and I got to put them together and make it into one. And then I joined something called the Resilient Writers Summit this past week. It was 4 days. I didn't have to attend it, but I could get the replays 24 hours later. And they had something called swag, and all of the presenters who were all published writers, they're editors, they are people who work with writers who are already successful writers. They offered things like a guidebook or a workbook or something on how to give your characters more personality or how to write a romance novel. And I collected the swag. So I have 23 PDFs and some MP3s from them, and it's gotten me motivated. So I've gone back in and I'm working on finishing the novel. So that's what I'm going to be spending my time doing this holiday. So there you
awesome.
go. Yep, yep. And it's a satirical, and I have to use a nom de plume because people will know who they are. And the disclaimer in the front says, if this resembles you or anybody you know, it's probably intentional on the part of the author. So I'm a pseudonymous author. That's what I'm calling it. So I'm going to put the music on. Bill P., it's been lovely getting to know you. Thank you for sharing who you are and being you. And I look forward to more time with you on my Technology Revolution show in 2025. And as I always say to those guests, if you have a topic and you want to bring it to me, bring a panel of three people to join you, and we'll do a whole new topic. We're still covering AI next year, the future of blank industry, business, culture, skill, genre, and AI. So if you have any ideas, bring them to me. And if you know any cool dudes or saucy dames to refer to me for this show, I'd be happy to welcome your recommendations. Okay?
Awesome. I will definitely do that. And
Okay.
happy holidays to you and
Thank
everyone
you.
else.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Let me start the music here. And thank you to Serge Hoffman, who, as I say, my friend, he's formerly SAP. He just retired, very, very busy, and he's a composer. His music has been featured by Cirque du Soleil. He's composed for films, and he works with orchestras and opera singers in Paris to create music. And he does a lovely job. It's not AI. It's really Serge. I'm picking up the song where we left it. Let's just rock a little bit here. It's about a girl who wants to be with the in crowd, Bill. And my song says, just be you. So you want to be?
Yeah.
Just be you. Pop, 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 pop. So you want to be? So you want to be? A cool kid. I'm going to roll it down here. Bye and happy holidays, everybody. I've got another